Hello. Was I muted this whole time? God dang it. Anyways, what I was saying, because I was muted, is I managed to get NQ data on TradingView. So now we have NASDAQ and Bitcoin and anything that we could possibly want, we can now put on TradingView charts all in one place. So that makes the stream a lot simpler. Now I don't need to switch between Ninja Trader and TradingView. Which is nice. So market is about to open here. I wanted to take a look at NASDAQ. Currently, like the title suggests, the sell-off continues. Take a look on the hourly chart. We have seen just pretty much a straight move lower. Okay. Now, could we start to bottom out here at this little area of support? For sure. But this is the 15-minute time frame, and we want to take a look at something lower, like the 3-minute or the 1-minute. And those are the ideal time frames to trade. So let's see 5-minute. Okay, so we're bouncing right at this little area of demand, right around here. There we go. Just about that. I mean, it is kind of a big level, but definitely clear that we're bouncing there. Now, why would we bounce in this general area? Because we have this massive move up and away from the area, and you can see we had no pullback. So anybody buying or anybody shorting in here got stuck in this trade, and so there could be some orders sitting here, some stop loss orders, right? As well as anybody who was trying to buy in here during this move. Their orders never got filled, so you have that that situation where you have both buyers and sellers basically being not forced, but basically having buy orders sitting in that area. Okay, so you can see on the chart that we have tested that zone, and that is why we are currently bouncing right now. Does it mean that we are going to go straight up from here? No, we can definitely go lower and test deeper into the zone. And in fact, when you look at something like the 3-minute time frame, all right, the move really started right around down in here, right? So is this going to be the true area of demand? This one here, the one that we're currently looking at, or could it be this one lower down here? That's the issue. We don't know. So with the bearish sentiment overall on the market, I am leaning slightly bearish, but as we all know, everything changes once the market opens. Let me just make sure my sound and everything is working. Okay, yes, we are good. Thank you, Joseph. So as the market opens, we will get a little bit of a better idea. Right now, market is still technically, I mean, it is open. Futures is open, obviously, but once 9:30 hits, everything starts to change. So when we look at the 3-minute time frame, the ideal bearish setup would be this little equivalent move into resistance. Because technically, what swing are we in? We are in this swing right here, right? So technically, we are in a down swing. So you would expect a continuation lower. Just because we expect it doesn't mean it has to happen. But that is the current idea. And until we show some signs that we're not going to go lower, and then we will change our opinion. But that is currently our thoughts on NQ. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. I have not taken a look at Bitcoin. Did I just say looking? I have not taken a look at Bitcoin today. So let's start from the top. First, what do we want to do? We want to kind of identify what swing we're in, which is going to be right here. Highs and lows. Take a look at the previous low right over here. What did we do? We closed pretty strongly below these lows, which shows that we may have some intention to go lower. All right, take a look right over here. We have a little area of supply, so that's an area of interest for sure. Extend it a little bit, and this is definitely an area of interest. Okay, 1-minute time frame. Let's see if we can do a little bit of an ABCD pattern here. Yeah, and you can see these things do work. That's exactly where we are struggling to pass right now. Now, this is a very tiny, insignificant ABCD pattern, so I'm not going to really base any trades off of it, but it is cool to see. Now what we could do is go something like this and see if we can get an equivalent move higher into that area of interest. That would be a little bit safer of a trade. Obviously not going to just put a limit order there, but okay. And 5-minute time frame, anything new? I mean, take a look at the previous swing. It was pretty much this right over here. Okay, so this is technically bullish price action because if we look at the previous low, okay, look at the projection here versus here, right? The distance between these lows right here is much bigger than the distance between, there we go, these lows right here, right? Just compare the sticks. Simple as that. Just look at the sticks. Okay, and then the highs, well, I guess we don't have much information on the highs yet, but we can definitely already see a difference in pullbacks, right? Look at the projection here, these highs versus here, right? So everything is kind of shrinking, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. So technically, the 5-minute time frame is slightly bullish, but nonetheless, it is still a downtrend. So we don't just want to go start buying it up. Okay, we still kind of want to make sure we are following overall strength, and the overall strength right now is bearish. Even though the bigger time frame could potentially be bullish, overall still bearish. And so we're going to be looking for, I guess it looks like we're going to be looking for shorts on both NASDAQ and Bitcoin today. But once the market opens, everything can change. All right. How's everybody doing today? What trades are you guys in? Who is in what? Is anybody in any trades right now? What are your sentiments, your analysis, your viewpoints? By the way, good morning and good evening and good night. That's a Jim Carrey line, I believe. Make sure to smash up that like button if you guys are enjoying. That keeps me motivated to keep coming back every single morning and afternoon. I do have some good ideas for the future of this stream. A lot of entertaining ideas, a lot of educational ideas. Do have some interviews potentially in the works. So just make sure to like that like button. Smash that like button if you are interested in any of that. All right, so let's see. Bitcoin is slowly pushing up right now. Take a look at some fibs here and see where we're at with that. So we would probably expect, I mean, everything is looking decent. We would probably expect a reversal in general, just based off of price action, somewhere between this area, somewhere in this area here. Right, between that 61.8 and 50% Fibonacci retracement. But then, of course, we don't want to just ignore the supply level. So this is really our area of interest right now on Bitcoin. And we could technically extend it just a little bit. So I guess it's the whole thing. I guess we'll have a big area, which is fine. And you can see we're bouncing at that 50 right now. Market just about opening here. I got shaken out yesterday, so I'm not going to be entering any trades early before the market opens because it just made me angry. So let's wait and see what happens. 9:30, hello, come on. There's some volume coming in. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ going lower. All right, so that short trade on NASDAQ is not looking too likely. See if we can go. It looks like we're going to have to go deeper into this bigger area of, yep, there we go. There's the morning sell-off. Wow, that's intense. Okay, alrighty. And I assume Bitcoin is probably following through as well. Let's get some Fibonacci extensions going, put out some targets. 1.618 down here. And there's the entry of our demand zone. So that could be interesting. Oh my gosh, look at that volatility. Bitcoin not really following through actually, which is surprising. So Bitcoin, oh, there it goes. It's doing exactly what it did yesterday. If you guys remember, this is the exact candle that shook me out of a short trade just before it dumped. Okay. Looks like today it's not going to actually dump, which is fine because we're not in any trades. Luckily, because we know that the volatility is just insane right now. Why am I orange? I look orange. Well, let me just check something really quick. White balance off. There we go. Now I'm my pasty white, my natural pasty white self. Okay, so Bitcoin showing signs of bullishness, NQ still lower. Lots of volume to be expected on market open. We're in that area of support. The 1.618 is looking real juicy on NQ right now. And that's kind of forming this M pattern that we talked about yesterday. The M format. The way the market moves is not in zigzags, but in M's and W's. Oh my gosh. See, this is why you don't trade the market open. Look at Bitcoin. Come on. How are you supposed to trade that? Nobody can trade that. I don't care who you are. Whether you're long or short. If you're short, you're getting whipped out. If you're long, you're getting whipped out. It doesn't matter who you are. All right. Look at this. This is a disgusting candle. You make me sick, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin now dumping. I assume NQ, yep, there you go. NQ hitting that 1.618 extension in an area of demand. So this could definitely be an area where we start seeing some exhaustion. But let's see. Market is freshly opened, so anything can happen. We can just dump for infinity. And we do I even have my Funder FX open? Need to make sure I can actually trade this stuff. Yes, I do. All right. There is some bullish signs there. This could definitely be an interesting area here. Definitely can be an interesting area. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of untradeable right now. All we can do is now try to, I mean, hey, our level technically held. I guess technically we were right? All we can do now is just continue on with our analysis of lower lows, lower highs, right? So what swing were we trading here? It was this. We want to mark out these lows. Wow, NQ is bouncing right off that level. Look at that. Right off that 1.618. That voodoo magic level. Bitcoin is likely about to complete an ABCD pattern lower. Yep. It's right around that ABCD pattern and sweeping these lows here. NQ is looking semi-bullish, so this could be a general area of, what's the word? Reversal. A lot of volatility today. All right, so this is Bitcoin. NQ, as you can see, came back into that area of demand and is still bouncing. What a trade that would have been if we were fearless and just bought there. But at least it shows us that we are on the right track, right? We're getting the areas right, which is important. We want to know the areas and have faith in them. So price action is still, I mean, obviously volatile on Bitcoin, but in general, compared to the previous price action, it's still slightly bullish. I mean, obviously, overall, still in a downtrend, but we are starting to see weakening on the downside of things. For now. For now. NQ back in that area. And wow, that is quite the candle. NQ still sitting at that area of support. The retest is not ideal. If we want to see a sharp reversal, we should see it happen pretty quickly. And Bitcoin doing the same thing, starting to go a little bit lower. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Fund Your Facts, looking forward to hearing the news on the random winner. Happy for them with that opportunity, but if I would have shorted on Bitcoin, it would have just hit my take profit. Oh, yeah? You were short? Or, oh, you would have shorted. What's up, Gift Mafia? I always call you Gift Mafia. Gift Matlala. Joseph, by the way, I did select the winner. I guess I probably should have just announced it publicly, but what I did is I just commented on it. I just replied to his comment and told him my email to email me, but I forget what his name was. It was like Twitch something. He still hasn't claimed the account, though, so maybe we have to... we'll have to pick another one. I mean, with the amount of people entering, every single one of you is gonna win an account eventually. All right, so let's take a look. NQ looks like NQ swept these lows and is now beginning to move higher. All right, that's good. Respecting the area of interest, at least for now. Bitcoin kind of struggling to get back above these lows. Same situation, basically. Kind of swept the lows and is reversing. NQ shooting up now like crazy. At least it was until I started looking at it. All right, maybe let's just not look at NQ then. Let's let NQ do its thing. Yeah, general signs of reversal are happening right now. In general, everything is looking like sellers are starting to subside a little bit. All right. NQ now reaching the top of that area. Could be a little bit of an area of resistance. Now we're breaking, or we're testing these previous lows, right? So that is always, especially after a big move like this, right? Whenever you have this sharp move here, you're going to have trapped traders who bought here, who are now underwater. So that is definitely an area to be careful of if you are long, like I am. Here's the long position on Fund Your FX right now. And there's the breakthrough of that, so that's nice. Now the question is, the swing is still this right here. This is still the swing. So that is a lower low. So the question is, are we going to reverse? Or are we just going to get to the 50 level, or the 618 level at this point, and continue lower? All right. Are we actually going to be able to get back up to these highs right over here? Will this actually be a reversal, right? Because it's only a reversal if we make a higher high. So we will see. I am going to go to break even because NQ can do anything at this point. still early in the morning, and it's usually early in the morning that you get pretty erratic moves. Even if it looks like it's going to go in your favor, you can get some pretty crazy moves down. All right, here's Bitcoin doing pretty much the exact same thing. I mean, these charts are very similar. Just Bitcoin it's almost more condensed. So Bitcoin kind of hit that ABCD level below these lows, swept them, and has moved a little bit higher for now. The trend is still down. So longs, again, got to be careful with the longs. So Bitcoin is moving lower. Nasdaq's moving slightly lower. Okay, very lower now. Let me make sure I got that break even just in case. Oh, yep. Break even hit. All right. Another break even. That's okay. We knew we were risking that. We accepted that possibility. Now, will it hold and continue higher after the break even? That would suck, but it does happen. Mafia, I like that. Yeah, Mafia, gift Mafia. The Mafia that gifts. It's like the nice version of the Mafia. All right, sorry for my dad joke. All right, there is the reversal. Isn't that nice? But I gave it the shot. I gave it my best shot, and now I'm just gonna kind of wait and see what happens. Not gonna panic back into the trade because there's a reason why we put our break even there. Because there's still a possibility that we roll over. Bitcoin also struggling. See if there's anything to the left on Bitcoin. Similar to Nasdaq, it's like we have a little tiny area of demand as well. So Nasdaq and Bitcoin very similar today, and I guess they're technically very similar every day. Nasdaq is basically Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's basically Nasdaq nowadays. All right, guys, if we get to 10 likes, I'll panic back into this trade. How about that? I'll panic buy back into the trade. You guys can control my fate. That's a video I want to do. I want to make, or do a stream at least, where the audience can control what happens. Like a competition. We can do polls. Buy or sell. Buy, yes or no. Sell, yes or no. That would be fun. All right. Well, that's not encouraging. That candle is not encouraging. But luckily, we are not in this anymore. The 1.618 did its job for a little bit, but at the end of the day, the overall trend looks pretty strong to the downside now. There, it's retesting that 1.618 and holding for now, but with these massive candles here, selling pressure is pretty intense right now. These lows might need to be tested there and swept through, maybe even a sweep of the entire level of demand, which would also put us down at this 2.0 Fibonacci extension as well. But right now, any entry is just too risky for me for buys. Bitcoin, again, doing the same thing as NASDAQ. Surprisingly, today, NASDAQ is a nicer chart than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking a little less clean. Ooh. You guys any oh wow, can't speak. Are you guys in any trades right now? Is anybody in any trades? What's it looking like out there? Let me fade you guys. I'm just kidding. Hey, if Nether's in here, tell me what you're in so I can just copy it. You're always on the right side. And by always, I mean the last 2 times or something. Excuse me. QNT. I'm sorry I don't look at those coins. I wouldn't be able to give you any value there. I'm just trading futures, Bitcoin and NASDAQ. Which seem like they're completely different things, but they are very similar in price action. Once the yawning starts, it doesn't stop. I need more caffeine, but my blood pressure's already high enough, so. Yes, at my spry young age, I have high blood pressure. That's what trading does to you. All right, surprisingly, we're still holding on to that 1.618 level. And there's quite the push there. So now what we want to look out for. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I swear it's like I don't usually yawn this much. It's like when I'm on stream, for some reason I yawn once and then all I can think about is yawning and I just keep yawning. So now what we can potentially look for is even a move higher before moving lower. And now, of course, we wish we were still in this, but we did not survive the chop. So let's see what are we being told here? Well, first let's check Bitcoin again. Bitcoin is also just still chopping around there. Not a lot going on right now. And there goes NASDAQ dumping back down into the range. All right, so we just keep coming into this area of demand, right? Testing these lows right down in here, right? So these lows are probably going to be swept at this point. Not probably, we don't want to say probably, but they have the potential to be swept. Why? Because we keep testing this area of demand and we are failing to move out and away from it as of right now. And so the more we get into this area here, specifically these blue boxes, the more we stay around in here, the more we can assume that these orders are being filled, right? Any orders that needed to be filled are getting filled. So that makes this area weaken over time. The more times we test it, the more those orders are getting filled. And if those orders, if there is an imbalance of buyers and sellers, right? If the buyers should be winning here, okay, it should be a pretty quick reversal, usually, if it's a really strong level. But that is not the case we're getting here. Even though we are moving higher, we are not necessarily getting that quick move out of the area of demand, which tells us that this level is not super strong. And so our theory of having to breach through these lows over here could be a good one, potentially. Who knows? Could be completely wrong. That's how trading works. But We're just trying to make informed guesses, informed gambles. All right, ABCD pattern brings us up to here. And is there any confluence there? 3-minute time frame does look pretty bullish, not gonna lie. It does look like we want to get up to these highs here. And there's not too much confluence with this ABCD pattern. Not that I see. Don't want to just take plain old ABCD patterns just because it's an ABCD pattern. All right, we are just blowing through that for now. So that does give us some sense of bullishness. So let's see how it closes. Another tough day to trade. The price action is not the cleanest. Getting false signals everywhere. Took one trade today on gold, took me out on break even, price just consolidating. Yep, well, that's the same here. All right, Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually came back up to these highs. That's interesting. But Bitcoin was doing this exact same thing yesterday before moving lower. So yesterday we had a very similar situation where we had down, straight back up, and then straight back down. Let's see if the pattern continues today or if we manage to break the pattern. So you can see we didn't quite get back above that ABCD pattern. That's a 786. And that's kind of just in the middle of nowhere. So on this swing here, that's a 786 that we just touched and rejected, which is zone 3. The issue is that we don't like to see zone 3 being hit when you have such a strong move lower. So this tells us that price could be strengthening, but we're still failing to break and stay above this ABCD pattern. So yeah, the price action is just tough to read right now. You can see we just hit that 786 and this ABCD. And technically, if you want to get crazy with it, this is a Gartley pattern. All right. There is some pressure down. Wow, look at that. That would have been a nice short for now. But we are chopping away. And honestly, I just do not know whether we want to go higher or lower, because it's giving us signs on both ends. We're going to watch this 50 level closely. Fibonacci retracement. The 50 level on NASDAQ. Let's see how that reacts. Because usually when you get a zone 3 test, like the 786, what happens is that you go down to the 50 on the other side, on the other way, and look at that, down to the 50 and rejecting for now. Yep. This is some choppiness. Is anybody trading NQ? Is anybody having any sort of luck? Bitcoin is doing what it did yesterday. Straight down, straight up, and now coming back down. But this is also technically bullish. I mean, you can see that we rounded out. We rounded out the lows progressively got closer together, and the highs progressively got closer together. But I'm just not sure as of right now what direction we want to go. Here is NASDAQ starting to go a little bit lower. Let's take a look at, let's see if there's anything on Bitcoin here. Is there anything interesting? Came back up to these highs. Let's see if we even managed to break above those highs. Wow, holy crap. These completely equal. High on this candle was 90,350. High on this candle was 90,350. Wow, they're exact to the penny. Exactly the same high. All right, NQ breaking lower now. That would have been a nice short to be in now. Probably at a break even though at this point, and that would with this choppiness probably gonna get hit. I'm not in any trades, but if I was, I would assume it's gonna be another break even given the price action that we're seeing. Bitcoin, let's see here. I'm not too big of a fan of this. It's straight up and then straight back down, and that's just like one of the hardest things to trade because there's just no telling. NQ back into the level of demand that we highlighted, and in fact, I'm just going to get rid of that bigger one. Back into that area of demand and bounce. Chopping away, chopping away. It does look like it wants to go lower now. These lows seem awfully vulnerable right now. But then the 3-minute time frame looks like it wants to just skyrocket up. So bias is definitely still short though. And Bitcoin, I don't even know what to tell you. Bitcoin is doing, I guess technically the bias would be long on Bitcoin right now, given the price action, but we're not really seeing much. All right, there goes NQ back up into the range. Bitcoin turning around in zone 2. But this is a first touch kind of trade on Bitcoin if you are buying. So a little early for Bitcoin right now. And NQ starting to tank again. Back down. And now it's looking like it wants to start really pushing to those lows. Volume's increasing. This looks like a pretty strong move. Let's see if it holds. Well, okay, reverse. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Wow, look at that. Wow, wow, wow. And Bitcoin doing the same thing. Oh, news. News. That's what's happening for sure. Yesterday, or I don't even remember when, this week I was checking news on Forex Factory, and I said I don't see any news here. I don't see no 10 a.m. news, and it's because I was in the wrong time zone. I was set to the wrong time zone. So, President Trump speaks. We have Trump speaking. Let me just make sure I'm in the right time zone again. Tentative. President Trump speaks. (10 a.m. we had Canada news, IVPMI. So actually not really much news for us, I would assume. NASDAQ. Chopping away. Bitcoin moving higher, but I still don't trust it. Not yet, at least. NASDAQ back up. Let's clean up the chart a little bit. I'm just going to start over. Refresh perspectives. All right, right now the swing that we are currently in is going to look like these are the absolute highs, these are the absolute lows. Oh, there's the pump. All right. Okay. So these highs obviously are starting to look more and more like we're going to have to breach them. So at this point, I would say that I'm bullish on NASDAQ. We tried to move lower right here, and we just couldn't do it. Looks like some 10 a.m. either 10 a.m. data or 10 a.m. algorithms came in and reversed price, which does happen actually pretty often. If you look at 10 a.m., 10 a.m. is a pretty popular time for price to reverse or make a decision. So there's the break of those highs, and we're doing it in pretty much a straight line, which it's hard to trade that. Bitcoin, I assume, is back up towards those highs. All right. So there's NASDAQ testing those highs. There's a little bit of an area of support. Just mark it out for now. NASDAQ just barely breaking above those highs. Bitcoin has yet to reach its highs. What's up, Platyquest? I'm new to trading. Can someone tell me what platform you use, how to set up wallets, what wallets are good? I only use Binance for now. Okay, well, for charts, TradingView. Okay, TradingView's fine. Binance is fine. There's nothing wrong with Binance. How to set up wallets, what wallets are good? That's kind of a broad question. I mean, honestly, I'm not an expert in that. I just use brokers, and I use, I can tell you what I use. BitUnix to trade Bitcoin, and futures. I use a prop firm called Fund Your FX. Both of those links are in the description, and you get bonuses if you use them with those links. What's your entry criteria? Honestly, it can vary. It's more of like I describe it as like more of like a language. It's not like I have exact. I know this is a little controversial. Everybody says you need exact rules, but in my opinion, if you have, give me 1 second, I need to fix something. If you're able to find a system, right? A system that you have exact rules, like literally everything is mapped out, then you can just anyone can just program that and become a millionaire. Okay? If it's really that simple, right? If it's really just, buy whenever there's a new high and go down to the 50% retracement, well, anybody could program that into an algorithm and just print money, right? So in my opinion, trading is not that simple, and you can find more edge in having just a way of looking at the markets broadly, right? Like the way that we're going, okay, we're making a new low. How are we making that new low? Is it a strong new low? Are we struggling to break through these levels? Are we making new highs? How are we making those new highs? Is the projection increasing? Is the pitch increasing? That to me is harder to program, which means that you can have a better edge. So for me, it's really just figuring out where the strength is headed. Okay, where are we going? And I guess if I had to, look at that, Jesus. If I had to boil it down to like a system, it's really just identify what swing you're in, right? Highs and lows, or lows and highs. And it's your job to make the best educated guess possible whether we are going to fail the trend, we're going to reverse, or if we're going to continue the trend, right? And so usually what can help with that is understanding the price action, right? Like we just spoke about. Understanding these ABCD patterns, so figuring out an area where you're either going to get that reversal or you're going to start failing. Know supply and demand levels, right? Inefficiencies, where are orders sitting? That's all that means, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Where are the orders sitting? All right, orders sit at levels of imbalance, which are supply and demand, and above structure, which is highs and lows. And in my opinion, I think that's the most logical way to view the trade. Are we long? No, I'm not in any trades right now because I just quite couldn't find any reasonable entry for a long. Now, of course, we wish we were long. In fact, we were long. We were long like where? Down here, I think. But this choppiness just made us get out for a break even. Unfortunately, we just couldn't hold on that long. Now, obviously, the trend is technically reversed, right? High, low. Now we have new high. But it's not the sexiest move. It is if you're long, but if you're not in any trades and you're looking to get in a trade, now we gotta wait, gotta wait forever. And look at this data. What is that? Why is futures data so weird? Like, it's like that is not clean. Bitcoin has better data than that. Okay, so NASDAQ has gone bullish. Strong close above these highs. So sentiment clearly bullish for now. Bitcoin broken above those highs. I'm just going to restart this chart as well, clear it, and start from scratch. So here we have something like this, like that. And so now the swing would technically be this whole thing, which is kind of sucky. Because that's a big swing, and that means we're going to have to wait. There's a reversal. NASDAQ not following that same reversal. NASDAQ is still going higher. Bitcoin now also going higher. Got to work on holding positions longer because we were long down here. I mean, that was literally the bottom, but just gets shaken out by all the volatility. Cheryl says, yeah, I didn't know what to think. I'd like to wait until after 1 hour of market open. Yeah, that's popular theory. Wait until things have cooled down a little bit. If you haven't already, if you could do me one giant favor and take one little millisecond to tap that like button, helps me out and shows me that you guys are enjoying it. Enjoying the analysis, even though we're not really in anything right now and there's not much going on that we can trade. Now with such a strong move like this, you don't really want to see much of a pullback. Right? Like this is quite the strong move higher, and so usually you want to see something like 382, which we did get right here. And here we got, so that's 236. We wouldn't want to see going back into this range. If we get back into this on Bitcoin, and probably on NQ as well. Oh my God, my nose is itching. Then that wouldn't be ideal. It'll be signs of, again, another change of direction. So same thing with NASDAQ. NASDAQ, you probably want to see potentially. No, I'm trying to force trades. I don't want to force a trade, but watch these lows on NASDAQ. They have the potential to get taken out, and then we continue higher if this is really going to be some sort of sustained move higher. And then Bitcoin, you could say the same thing, really. You can get an equal move like this, and that actually does bring us into this little area of support here. So that's going to be an area of interest on Bitcoin, right around there. There was a similar trade like this yesterday on the 3-minute time frame. Anybody in any trades? How you guys looking? What are we looking at? All right, so let's take a look. Let me go look at the daily here. What are we doing? Daily chart. Currently above yesterday's highs. That's interesting. Or below yesterday's highs. Kind of just I mean, that candle does summarize what's going on right now. It's just choppiness. And NASDAQ on the daily time frame didn't quite take yesterday's low. But technically, we should have... So the theory is, if you've never heard of this next day theory, it's basically that if we're green the next day, or if we're green and we're, you know, if we're green and we are near the highs, the next day, you should technically be able to breach those highs. It's basically like if you're bullish one day, you should be bullish the next day. That's basically the theory, at least until you get to the highs. So it's interesting that we have not taken out yesterday's highs on NQ, but I mean, we've also not taken out yesterday's lows. So we're kind of just in the middle of that range. Obviously, it looks more bearish today just because it's red, and by red I mean black. But that is interesting to note. And yesterday's highs are all the way back up in here. And yesterday's low is right here. So this could be a move. If this sustains, this could be a move back all the way up there, believe it or not. But that would be quite the move. That would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? Now, we've been seeing this move happen around 11:30-ish. And there's a little bit of a move higher. I know some traders that are probably long this right now. A little bit of a breakout trade there. Matter of fact, let me go check. What day is today? Today is Thursday? Wow, that week went by quick. No, he's not trading today. If you guys watch Patrick Wheeland, I feel like he would have longed that, but doesn't seem like he's trading today. Good morning, T Taka. What's up? What's up? How you doing? Look at you guys saying good morning to each other. What a nice community. Small but mighty we are. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's moving higher already, which doesn't give us an opportunity to get in. We got that 382 push and continuation. So looks like we're running off now. A lot of volume in this candle, if you notice. That's interesting. Let's see if there's any reason for that. Could argue these highs being taken out, but yeah, I guess that's what that was. Highs were taken out here. Could be signs of potential liquidity grab, stop hunt, blah blah blah. So a reversal is possible here, but we are not going to try to catch the reversal. Given the strength that we've seen, we saw 382 bounce here. Or no, we didn't actually. We didn't even get to the 382. So yeah, this thing is just ripping straight up higher. Hey, what's up, Juan? If news and media are in position, we will see the low again within today for the accumulation period tomorrow. Do we have some news tomorrow? I think Trump is speaking. From what I saw, I didn't see, I just saw a tentative news. Let me see. Let me see if Trump's speaking. Let's see. Let me look it up. Is Trump speaking today? I don't really see much. Trump. Ford Factory says tentative. I don't really know how we're supposed to. What does that even mean? Tentative. President Trump speaks. So he's supposed to speak today, but if you look here, tentative. So I don't know. I don't really know what that means. I feel like that would they would have a time for that. But if you guys are enjoying the stream, just let me know by liking it. I'm sorry I have to keep asking that. Don't worry, I'm gonna get I'll get a little animation. That way I don't have to ask verbally, but with just a little animation, I can smash that like button. All right, Bitcoin took out these highs, high volume candle there as well. We're currently in this swing here. This is on the 5-minute time frame, so are we going to break these highs or are we going to break these lows, right? Well, looks more likely like we're going to break these highs. So, where are we likely to do, or to start that move? Or where can we get in to try to capture that move up higher? Oh, that's actually a level of supply right there that we're knocking on right now. In the 15-minute time frame, that's why we're getting a little bit of some resistance. But it's pretty risky to try to go fight against this trend right now. All right, there's some action. So we have basically this swing here, and that's not even really a pullback, to be honest. 3-minute time frame. Hit into that area of supply, and now getting a ginormous wick. Bitcoin, oh Bitcoin, how unpredictable you can be. Alright, so price is starting to break down just a little bit. But overall, what do we think, right? What do we think? Are we more likely to break through that high? Or are we more likely to break through this low? It's probably the former. We did get a reaction at this level of supply, but Let's look at some moving averages here. Not much information there. Oh man, today has been just, if you just blindly followed supply and demand levels, you would be printing money. NASDAQ bottomed out right at the 1.618 at a level of demand the whole day since that level. That we even did buy at, but got shaken out of. Break even, not a loss, but break even. Whole day has been up from there. Now we're starting to come back down here. Bitcoin following through. Getting down to these lows. Seems like the bears are putting up a fight. Yes, indeed. And it is 10:30, so we still have plenty of energy. Could technically reverse here, but I would like to see a little bit of a bounce and then continuation for that second wave down, second wave trade, second touch. Sometimes I do that to try to help me visualize. Kind of just go back and you kind of play it forward and you're just watch. What is going to happen next here? So it looks like we got these lows taken out and some high volume coming in. But it's also basically forming this little head and shoulders pattern, right? So buying now, it's a little bit early in my opinion. My personal opinion, that means nothing. Do not follow anything I say. Thank you guys for liking this stream, by the way. 10 likes, 10 viewers. I like a 1-to-1 ratio. Let's see if we can get a 2-to-1 ratio, just like we like our trades. I know that's not possible, guys. I know. All right, so there's a little liquidity sweep action, but to go straight up from here, there would be no trade. By the way, if you have any recommendations or feedback for the stream, let me know. Because I am not shy. I do not shy away from criticism or feedback. Or any just recommendations. If you guys want, if you guys want to make these streams more fun for yourself, just let me know how I can do that. And I shall do it. I'll add some EDM clubbing music in the background. Alright, we're just sitting on our feet right now. NASDAQ pretty much going straight back up to those highs, but this is really early. I don't really like to see all this blank canvas here. All this space here. Usually you kind of fill in the voids. Like all this. Right? I guess you would call that a fair value gap, wouldn't you? All of this. I know that's not technically a fair value gap. This would be. But like that is a lot of space being left behind. So what we could potentially see is a move like this. Back down and take these lows out. Price action is getting definitely a little bit harder to trade now because we have, at least on the 1 minute time frame, 3 minute time frame, if you're trading that, I mean, you have a decent range to trade. But let's look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is starting to kind of follow that head and shoulders looking pattern. We do want it to go lower at this point. Set up an ABCD pattern that puts us, pretty low down there. I'm not sure if we're going to get down there. Maybe down to this 127, 113 to 127 area could be interesting. There is a little bit of an area over here on the 3 minute time frame. That's a little area of imbalance. Nasdaq starting to curl over. All right, Cheryl, see you later. Take care. I'm sure you've smashed that like button already, so I won't beg you. You will be back like the Terminator. Oh man, come on, do something. A little bit of a supply area right over here. So far, we are one break-even trade in. Better than losing. NQ doing nothing. Not much opportunity there. Technically, we are bullish. Technically, we could go all the way back up to these highs. Let's see what Bitcoin decides to do here. I could envision something like, oh, whoa, not that. Something like this. And that. Possible. If we can get up there. All right, some sign of movement. Come on, do something, please. We're just starting to build this little range here. S&P 500 doing the same thing as NASDAQ. Dow Jones making new highs. NASDAQ still sitting around. Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin finally decided to move. Alrighty. Now let's see what happens here. This could be interesting. Alright, failing to close above those highs so far. Oh, never mind. Let's see how this closes. High volumes, volume's starting to pick up here. Oh, and we failed to close below, or above. All right, Bitcoin. Let's see what you got. All right, where's the volume? Not too much volume here. NASDAQ kind of farting around as well. Or still, I should say. Not making a move, really. Bitcoin sitting at this area. Are you guys in anything? You guys in any trades? Anything at all? What are you guys doing? If not, why are you watching? Right? You're not trading? Just watching for fun? Alright. Well, surprisingly, Bitcoin has no issue getting through there. Let's see, NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ going up. NASDAQ could literally get all the way up to here. Let's see if there's any levels to be looking out for on NASDAQ. Probably nothing other than like normal fibs. The next fib is all the way at 61.8. So, yeah, this is looking like a pretty crazy day for NASDAQ. Potentially. What was this here? Look at that. M. M's and W's. Oh, just removed every indicator. Wow. And over here as well. Look at that. M. All right, Bitcoin back into that area of supply. General area. See if we can define it a little bit better. It's whatever. There's that high getting taken out. Well, now we probably want to be trading in line with this, potentially. So it looks like we've taken those highs and now we're starting to reverse a little bit. Let's clean some things up. That's not really needed right now. This kind of not needed. This actually I'll keep on for now. All right. A lot of volume into that push. And now the volume is starting to subside on the decline. Still feels, I don't know. It's tough for me to start buying this. It still feels like there's a little too much space here. Just a whole lot of empty space. Usually when you get a very strong move higher with shallow pullbacks, it's kind of like the Elliott wave theory, where you don't want to be on the last wave. So it goes, I believe it goes 1, 2, 3. Actually, I don't remember. I'm not even going to try. But it looks something like this. And then you don't want to be in this wave right here. So if you look, that's like kind of what we're doing here. So getting long for me now, I guess we'll see. Could be a little risque. What's up, Miner Smith? How are you doing? This candle had some volume in it for some reason. let's see what happens here. Volume is increasing. This is pretty much straight up, straight down, so still early to be buying. There's a push down. Gonna be met with some dip buys. Five-minute time frame. Looks like the support really starts about here. Let's see here. Going into that area. Took out these highs. High volume candle. Swing 50. All right, tapped that area. But still early. First touch. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. What does NASDAQ do in here? NASDAQ has moved straight up for the last 45 minutes. Back into an area. But again, this is like... this is tough to buy right now because you have this sharp move here. And then this tiny little move here. That's a sign of weakness. 3-minute time frame. How do we look in? Yeah, it's a little weak for me. There's Bitcoin going back into that zone. Now that's looking weaker because we are having a deeper pullback. NASDAQ, let's see. Bitcoin's starting to capitulate a little. All right, let's see what kind of volume gets printed here. NASDAQ pulled back, let's see. Pulled back to 61.8. Looks like it wants to go for that 786. And after such a move, it wouldn't be too surprising to take out some lows. Bitcoin's starting to find some support here. But I don't trust this one. No longs for me. Now, the closer we get to 11:30, we know 11:30 can be a big time for Bitcoin, and at least in the last 2 days. Last 2 days at 11:30, Bitcoin skyrockets for some reason. All right, these lows look like they're going to be targeted on NASDAQ. Bitcoin's starting to move lower as well. I guess we'll keep that zone there just for fun. All right. So these lows are being targeted on Bitcoin and NASDAQ. It looks like NASDAQ has reached those lows. Looks like it just touched it. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. All right, NASDAQ breaking through those lows. I see. I told you I didn't trust it. I didn't trust this move here. Bitcoin has yet to break through the lows, though. NASDAQ taking out those lows. Now, this is when it could potentially get interesting. Lows broken at around a 382 retracement. High volume. High volume there. Bitcoin, relatively high volume-ish. We've created a little bit of an area of supply on NASDAQ here. Some inefficiency. Oh wow, look at that candle. What is up with this data? How do people trade this? How do people trade this data? I don't understand. That candle makes no sense. And now it's just throwing me off. Now I don't know what to think. Just one candle. Yes, just one candle off. And now I don't know what's going on. Alright, Bitcoin still technically in that area of support. Let's see, do we have any sort of symmetry? Not really. A lot of volume in here for NASDAQ. But that candle's now throwing me off. I don't know what that candle is. Like, what? Oh. It's making me mad. That's why I like good data. That's why I like BitUnex. BitUnex has good data, which is why I use them. The No KYC Crypto Futures Broker, link in the description. If anybody knows why that is, why you get a candle that looks like this on NQ futures, let me know. And if you're wondering what looks weird about this, it's because it opened down here. Closed here, opened down here. It's literally a gap. Doesn't make sense. All right, so there it goes, Bitcoin. NASDAQ, yeah, NASDAQ through the area of resistance or supply so far. Interesting price action there. On Bitcoin, Nasdaq swept through these lows, and now we're starting to see that move higher. But this is still very difficult to trade for me. I don't really see any opportunities. It's now 11 a.m. Getting close to that magical 11:30 number. Let's see. Go back to 11:30 yesterday on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin at 11:30, trend reversed from down to up. Day before that, Bitcoin 10 started reversing around 10. Started moving lower around 10 to 11 or 11 to 11:30-ish, and then trend reversed, or Bitcoin went up. So now what are we doing? We're not going down. We're kind of just moving a little sideways. There is a big candle there, but no volume on it. This was a clear liquidity sweep. We could probably say that with some confidence. Super high volume, such high volume that we literally gapped the candle. No close below that low here on NQ. And so these highs could be targeted potentially. We also know that the previous day's highs over here could be targeted as well, which puts us way up there. Bitcoin now finally making a move. Back into this area here. A little bit of resistance, kind of doing that head and shoulders thing. So we took out these highs, closed above those highs, but immediately inverted back in with high volume. Retraced back down into support. Bounced here, closed below that area. High volume candle here. Moved back into previous supply. I just can't put my pulse on it. There's a lot of bearish signs happening. Tested this area, bearish close below, came back up to these highs, swept that, but then continued moving higher. Ugh, this is a mess. I'm just not sure how to trade this. Is anybody trading well today? Is anybody doing this? Hey, Joseph. Joseph says, I've got to go. Darn work hanging in the way, but working towards trading full time. Yeah, Joseph. All right. Take care, man. Take care. No worries at all. And good luck. what are we doing here? NQ is looking relatively interesting. Same chart basically though, just another type, another kind of head and shoulders pattern on NQ. Now moving lower, Bitcoin moving lower. I would still say I'm bearish on Bitcoin right now. We have lots of bearish signs. The issue is that we're still in an uptrend, so that makes it difficult to start shorting. That was a nice little head and shoulders. All right, chopping around here now. NASDAQ moving higher. NASDAQ looks like it wants to get back up to these highs. And Bitcoin, of course, is going to follow that most of the time. Well, there's a pretty nice candle. NASDAQ, what are you doing? Yeah. Big candle there on NASDAQ. Back into this little area here. A little ABCD pattern maybe in the works, which puts us above these highs. Or at the highs. Alright, Bitcoin tapped back into that area of resistance. This is going to start looking like a chop fest pretty soon. So NASDAQ looks like it wants to target these highs. Bitcoin is just chopping around like crazy between two levels of support and resistance. NASDAQ moving higher now, Bitcoin staying about the same. Yes, S&P at the highs. Dow Jones has made new highs. Looks like Dow Jones is the leader today. Dow Jones has done nothing but make higher highs, higher lows. Man, there's not much to do right now. Just chop fest on Bitcoin, NASDAQ, not much there. The entry to go long, it would have been nice there, but it happened pretty quickly. For a little reversal trade, forming that W pattern. Let's see where we're at right now on NASDAQ. 113. Thing is, we closed pretty strongly above these levels, these lows. It was a liquidity sweep. So these would be considered protected lows. So the only place to get liquidity would be at these highs. Bitcoin is starting to move lower. And it's 11:13 a.m., which just starts getting pretty slow. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to end the stream here. I'll be back, as always, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to like the stream before you go. That's all I ask. And, yeah, I mean, didn't do any... Well, we did one trade today, and it was break-even for right now. Or... It already happened, but I don't know if I'll be trading later in the afternoon. We'll be doing analysis, but I don't know if I'll actually be trading. So it looks like a break-even trading day for right now. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Take care, everyone. Smash up that like button, and I'll see you later this afternoon. Peace.